Good morning, second hour. Just going to give you a quick demonstration of law of sines, in case this is something that's new to you. Previously, we've only used trigonometry for right triangles. This is a triangle that is not a right triangle. And law of sines basically says that there's a relationship between a side and the opposite angle. Okay, between a side and an opposite angle. And you can pause the video and write some of this down if it will help you. Okay, so what that means is if I have a couple pieces of information about a triangle, it doesn't have to be a right triangle, I can find the rest of the triangle, all the measurements of the rest of the triangle. That means that the sine of angle A over A is going to be equal to the sine of angle B over side B. Okay. Likewise, the sine of angle B over side B is going to be equal to the sine of angle C over side C. Okay. All of them are proportional and related to each other and can be set up like a ratio to solve a problem. Okay, let's do a couple of examples, and I'm just going to pull the examples right off Khan Academy. Okay, this one says, find line AC. So we don't know the length of side AC. We're just going to call it X. Okay, so we know that there's a relationship between the sine of the angle opposite X, so sine of 71 degrees over X. Okay, and we know that we can set it up as a ratio to the other stuff that we know. So we know this angle and this side, and they are opposite each other. So it's going to be equal to the sine of 23 degrees over 7. So you can basically just take all the information you know and set it up like a proportion and solve for X. So let's solve by getting X by itself. So that means X times the sine of 23 degrees equals 7 times the sine of 71. Divide, we're to get X by itself. Had a brain freeze for a moment. So let's divide both sides by the sine of 23 degrees. Okay, this part cancels, leaving you with X equals 7 times the sine of 71 degrees over the sine of 23 degrees. And this we can just put in the calculator. So 7 times the sine of 71, and you can see right here we have it set 2 degrees, okay, over the sine of 23 degrees. And that gives us 16.939. It says round it to the nearest tenth. which is 16.9. There we go. Okay, let's do one more, but this time we're not missing a side. We're missing an angle. We are missing, let's see, we're trying to find the measure of angle B. So let's call that x. We don't know the measure of angle B. Even though it's the angle that's missing and not the side, we can still set up the proportion the same way. So we're trying to find x. So the sine of angle x, the measure of angle x, is going to be over the side opposite. So that's a 10. So over 10 equals, and then the other information that we have the measure of angle 51 degrees. So sine of 51 degrees over the side opposite that is 11. There's our proportion. We just need to solve it for x. In this case, we're going to find out what sine of x is. Okay, so sine of x times 11 equals 10 times the sine of 51. Okay, let's divide both sides by 11, and we get sine of x equals 10 times the sine of 51 over 11. Okay, so this is just something, again, we can put in our calculator. 10 times the sine of 51 degrees over 11 is, oops, I'm still set on eraser, sine of x equals 0.70649. Okay, so we know what sine of x is. How do we then figure out what x actually is? We've got to go over here to function of the calculator and find our arcsine. Okay, we need to find the arcsine of 0.70649, and that gives us an angle that is 44.95 degrees. Okay, and now Khan Academy says that we need to put it in rounded to what? The nearest degree, so that's 45 degrees. Okay, so hopefully that helps you figure out how to solve these triangles using law of sines. Please remember to reach out via Remind or Google Classroom or email if you get stuck. Some students and I have figured out all kinds of innovative ways to help each other virtually. Sometimes at a Zoom conference, sometimes we just text back and forth or take pictures of our notes and send them back and forth. So please don't hesitate to reach out. We'll find a way to help you. Have a good Tuesday.